Hey everyone! Welcome back to another playthrough of Chapter 13 that was just translated for this campaign. Yo, Oddly Rival, instant comment. Good to see you. So let's just hop right into it. So I did actually look at the team preview, but that was pretty much it for the next quest, as in, looked at this. So it will be a tall map, and it seems to have two different world entities. I found this out in the middle of my recording of Chapter 12 last time, but the main quest actually does give some pretty decent coin. So I don't know how much rank EXP they give, but I'll check that out later. But it's definitely worth trying to bring coin boosters if you're doing Chapter 14 right now, for example, because they all give coin, to my understanding. We'll also have a support Babe Union. So I already made my team based on a tall map against two world units, and it's presuming that they'll just be facing bosses here by nice and 5 level seated already. Don't show until reloading the game, please. That is quite fine. And we'll go ahead and switch to this team right here. I've already equipped some units that have some coin boosters, as well as others that can actually further buff Babe Union. I mean, I already forgot what his buffs are natively, so there might be something redundant there. But it should be fine. Let's go ahead and do our best here. Yeah. It should be fine. Should be fine. Let's just go. Just go. Whew. Love that little guy, Babe Union. Yeah, he appeared in a previous episode, and he was just like staring there ominously among the invaders. So I was a bit surprised when I saw him in the support list for, one of the recommended NPC units. I wonder what the reason is that he's going to be cooperating with us, but, invaders don't necessarily strictly adhere to some singular plan. Let's do this. One of the 23 other worlds connected to Tokyo via the gates is known as the World of the Great Spirit. Okay, they really just started using the term other worlds in this chapter as if it was always a thing, but they've never called them other worlds before, so maybe a bit of a weird retcon. The wiki might also need some update tweaks of that. Yo, Xena, welcome. It's a structurally simple world, consisting of a singular great plain that stretches out in all directions. All life is exactly equal within this wasteland. And inevitably, a world of perfect equality upon an endless plain will give rise to a faith based on that equity. The people there know this faith as immaterialism. Hold on, I forgot to plug in my charger. There you go. This is because those of the Great Spirit willingly and readily relinquish their attachments to material things so that those in greater need may have them. If one should harvest more grain than is needed, for example, then the rest is to be divided among others. It is immaterial to the original harvester. Therefore, whoever relinquishes the most material possessions is considered to hold the most power within the world of the Great Spirit. So those who give up most. And its world representative, Wakan Tanka, is the very embodiment of this faith. So, out of curiosity, I did Wikipedia this guy's name, and it's not actually a person or a deity of some kind. Rather, Wakan Tanka refers to what's it called? The Great Mystery or the Great Spirit itself. So it's kind of redundant. It's called to separate the Great Spirit from Wakan Tanka. But essentially, it's the mystery within every single thing. The spirit. It's the thing that makes. Everyone has a soul, I guess. I don't know how to put it into words, but there's just something worth that places value in everything between the people and the land and the fish, and life itself. Sadden Tanka. He gives away everything he comes to own, saving not a single scrap or morsel for his own consumption or enjoyment. This has caused him to transcend life as we know it, becoming less of a physical being and more a conceptual force of nature. I mean, this game is a reverse isekai. Can't have animal people and mythological entity walking around and still say there are only one world. I suppose that's true. They did something similar with like Volos and Velis. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be the same entity, but in this game they kind of said they were two different things. He is the love that dwells within every pebble, every blade of grass, every pile of mud. He exists within all things. He is the rain that nurtures life, as well as all the roaring thunder that claims it. All of nature's blessings and curses alike are of Wakantanka. Yet to this embodiment of the immaterialistic faith, to Wakantanka, all other life, big and small, is regarded as his equal in every way. A faith of equality, huh? Therefore, all who are born into this world of equality, and all who dwell upon and within its surface, are themselves part of Wakantanka. From the most evolutionarily complex god to the simplest of single-celled organisms, from altruists to infidels, there is no exception. It's because of this omni-ubiquitousness that to possess or overtake Wakantanka means to possess or overtake all of its constituent parts, all of everything. Being one with the entire world, however, is still being one. Wakantanka is the perfect immaterialist, but he is alone, always merely looking down upon the planes from above. He is virtually a machine, endlessly pumping out love in equal measures to all creatures, great and small. Please pump out your love to me. He pumps out his love indiscriminately. So we did see in the main chapter this guy, regular Wakantanka, and then I believe an invader made contact with him, and presumably that transformed him into the Mugen version. Or at least he was, until the day he came to Tokyo as a transient and began to walk its streets. Please pump Daddy W, pump your love. For real. He's lived through many loops with the people of the city, in the body of a sacred white buffalo therian. Oh my gosh, the Yoyogis are canon. I mean, we already knew that, but Drago's canon. Hey! Emergency warning even extends this to us. What gives? Where's that Wakan gun himself off to? This ain't the time to be goofing off. I think that's what he said. I kind of tapped that too quick. I even checked around back for him. He's nowhere on school grounds as far as I can tell. Would have never expected him to be so responsible. He needs to take shelter too, just like the rest of us. Yasuyori Kubongo Inuta of the Warmongers, one of the three tree guilds, knows there's more to this than meets the eye. World? That's just two standing in the field. This is no ordinary evacuation warning. Natural disasters certainly happen, but the timing of this one is much too suspicious. No, this is a sure sign as any that the balance is beginning to crumble here in Tokyo. The time has finally come. This is no time to be lost in thought. I must protect all the people of Yoyogi. Child, are you from the primary school on this campus? Quick, it's dangerous here. You should make your way to the shelter site at once. Yasuyori tries his best to sound gentle and caring with this therian he presumes to be a child. The look he receives in response is most definitely one of years. Wakantanka ain't coming back no more. I just came here to deliver that message to ya. What? What did you just... Yasuyori's sentence is interrupted by a ringtone from the phone in his breast pocket. Sorry. Please excuse me for just a moment. Now who could this be? Whoa. Yasuyori looks down on his phone screen for only a moment, then looks up again to find the mysterious boys no longer anywhere to be seen. Was he really? Oh right, my phone. Yasuri, yes, hello. I'm going to assume we both know what's going on here. It's the Invaders, the true guild of the South. They've made their move in earnest. They're somehow using this rain that's spreading to every corner of Tokyo to further their plans. We're seeing some some unusual developments that have never occurred in any previous loop. I'm calling to request that you lend us your support. We're that short on personnel at the moment. Counselor. No. Tanatomo. I'm sorry, but I've got other things I need to. I know. It's more important to you that the safety of your fellow Yoyogi Academy students is assured, no? That's why I'm calling to offer a safe haven for you and your schoolmates. Safer than a designated evacuation site. You are? I can't guarantee you absolute safety, of course, but if anything should happen, I will jump into action. You have my word. It only stands to reason that you would be better off with your schoolmates by your side than you would be alone, does it not? But Besides which, you and your fellow classmates are not entirely uninvolved in the aggressive actions by the invaders. Pardon? What does Tanatomo know about Wakan? Wakan Tanka, a senior student at this high school division there, is presently serving as their main player. What? I share your surprise, to be honest. Nothing like this has ever occurred in any of the previous loops. At least, as far as the investigation I've been authorized to conduct has indicated. Or rather, as far as I've been able to discover on my own. Frankly, I've grown tired of dancing for the military. Tanatomo, you've changed. Do you really think so? Perhaps it's the company I keep that's brought about that change. Yes, I'm sure of it. Now then, tell me about this plan of yours. What is it you're expecting me to do? Well, let's start with what I've learned thus far. A contingent of players is on the move, intending to eliminate the trophy. Eliminate the trophy? This sudden change in stance seems to be a direct result of new intel shared among the world representatives from chapter 12. Yeah, that makes sense. And though the West is slow to act due to the dwindling influence, the East and South have jumped into the fray. What the fuck is that? What is that? Oh, it's corporate guard. Sorry, I couldn't tell because it's such an unusual silhouette. With a player capable of creating catastrophic downpour to keep everyone else at bay from jumping farther ahead than the rest. I suspect the area around Chinchiko has resorted to infighting by this point. Of course, I would never go as far as to pit you, Yasuri, against world representatives. Our players are perfectly capable of handling the players from the East and South, so I say we leave them to it. If there's one thing I've learned from all these loops, after all, it's that only players can stand against other players. And the three true guilds fighting among themselves is nothing new either. They are meant to keep one another in check. What gives me pause are the movements of one among our kin who serves the invaders of the South. A certain acquaintance of mine has gotten caught up in those movements recently. He's an informant of considerable skill. And according to that acquaintance, this strange dog warrior accomplice of theirs said as follows. Wait, do they have a mole with them? Who could he be talking about? Who would Tanatomo be acquainted with that's already part of the invaders? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they revealed an informant from the warmongers was in the invaders yet. We can save everyone. We can stop this sinister plot. There may be sacrifices, but they will be the last. I don't like the sound of that last part. Indeed, it's not impossible to extrapolate from such a statement that this loop is to be the final one. The question is, how can the invaders say something like that with such conviction? Do they know something we don't? If they, in fact, do hold knowledge that has evaded me, then we must seek them out and extract it. And as a dog warrior yourself, Yasuri, I can think of no one better for this job than you. It seems almost foreordained. The 8 dog warriors are Kanisteri and samurai who've pledged fealty to the Satomi clan. offshoots of the great Minamoto clan. Each dog warrior bears an orb, with 8 in total. Tanatomo had previously served as most esteemed of families in the Land of Wa. More specifically, it was the Land of Wa's world representative whom Tanatomo once served. Of course, Hugh, and I as well, have foreordained duties to contend with here in Tokyo. Once served? Does he no longer work under Yoritomo? And we can't very well simply toss him by the wayside now, can we? I wholeheartedly agree with your assessment on all accounts, Tanatomo. Having earned Yasuyori's compliance was almost no effort. Tanatomo chuckled softly, albeit loud enough to be audible over the phone. Do be careful, though. I'm sure your experiences alone have the gravity of the situation all too clear, but nonetheless, the 3 true guilds will never hesitate to make full use of the strategic resources available to them from past loops. And the warmongers have made you remember things from past loops before, which alone has frozen you in horror. The invaders go so far as to use past memories of others to completely take over their victims, altering their very nature. If I had to guess, I'd say that they're using this rainstorm to openly disseminate past memories of others for this very purpose. In the past, the true guilds have operated under a treaty with one another toward a common goal. Well, it's plain to see the invaders are no longer inclined to honor that treaty. So what happens next is anyone's guess. What's worse is, those who are taken over lose their sense of self and eventually begin fusing with one another? Bearing all this in mind, I cannot stress enough that you must not let the rain touch you, Yasuyori, under any circumstances. Kind of hard to avoid rain, but okay. Something's coming into me. Someone's taking me over. The Lushir, is this Wakantanka taking them over? The Lushir and Kengo are subjected to is so intense, it almost seems as if the heavens themselves are melting into the earth. And foreign memories mixed in with the rain are beginning to soak into their bodies. So every drop of rain is a rule. How would you possibly withstand this? Leap out into the rain? What the fuck? Okay, game over. No! Stop! If you wind up being subjected to this too, then it's all over. You absolutely must not let this rain touch your body. Hey, Shiro, you're the brains around here. You got any ideas for dealing with freaky rainstorm? I'll keep you safe till you think of a plan, so you better come up with a damn plan. Oh my gosh. Tsumeji, welcome. Kengo gets down on his hands and knees and fully covers Shiro, acting as a shield from the rain for him. Kengo, wait, the rain. That's it. Do you remember, Arthan? Do you remember when Ryota went to the Aoyama Guild to seek their support and wound up in the underground graveyard? Hey, this is actually, like, intact with the dungeon stories for once. Oh yeah, the catacombs. Just like when I learned about my own secret artifact from the Yogg-Sothoth's exception beneath the old school building here. Kengo learned the proper usage of a sacred artifact from the Sora exception beneath Ikebukuro. And Ryota went to Aoyama Guild to earn their support, only to meet with an exception there themselves. It's there that he met and became tied to the Fisher King, the exception from the catacombs beneath Aoyama. In search of a means to more properly unleash the power of his chalice sacred artifact. And during that ordeal, he was shown memories of past loops. I remember him talking about it. He said something like, when the world is prepared to meet its true end, an angel who heralds Judgment Day will appear, Mr. Phil. And the tears that the angel sheds will fall as a downpour of faith that fills the entire world, covering all the land. The torrent will wash away all the people's sins, delivering divine punishment via this rain of judgment. And all those who succumb to the rain will have their pasts fully exposed. I believe the name of this angel was Isifril, from the world of Eden. And it seems only logical to conclude that this rule-infused rain must be in some way related to him. If we had the secret artifact of Fisher King exception, we might be able to extract more detailed memories. Arthan, try contacting Ryota. Is he saying that we can get more memories specifically of the Israfil if you contact Ryota? Something has seeped its way deep inside me. No, this... What is this? This is the opposite of what happened with me and Yogg-Sothoth. The two of them begin to shriek as a warm sensation overcomes them and some unknown force overtakes their bodies. Shiro, you can't go. We'll get a hold of Ryota right away. Wait. Someone's approaching. A lone figure appears from within the deluge, a massive leaf held above his head to keep him safe from the rain of rules. I'm Korpikar, the world representative of Kamikatan. The boy properly introduces himself, but everything from his stance to his facial expression makes his hostile intentions toward you crystal clear. He's really got it in for me. Oh, are there... Oh, wait. It's not just the invaders, it's also the rule makers who are trying to kill us now. Think back to what Smokey God said. It is apparent we have now entered an all-new phase of this long-stagnating game. One in which the value of the trophy has profoundly capsized. Not for the world representatives per se, but for the world. The trophy has once again become the world's enemy. I wanted to save you, Lilio. Little Poyanpe. Before you grew up to be a filthy adult. Before you grew too big for my leaf to cover you. I'm the one who protects children, after all. That's my role. But you've already been corrupted, so you leave me no other choice. I will need to cut you off for my protection before you have a chance to corrupt my Kamikotan. Good boy. Come, little ones! My leaf will protect you. Everyone else can just freeze. Cold sky at morning. The entirety of your surroundings instantly becomes covered in a rule-driven snow, with the sole exception of Korpikar himself, safely covered beneath his giant leaf. I can't use my powers. It's because he's a world rep, I guess. But I can't just leave Shiro and Kengo. Yeah, we learned from Tuscati Poka that we literally cannot use our normal rule of rending and just our powers in general against world reps. We're destined to lose against because of the hierarchy set from the original mythology. Cold, are we? Of course, because the world is a cold place. All that's left now is to freeze where you stand. No one will come to help you. Just get into the cold. Huh? A shot rings out from behind Korpikar without warning. He just barely manages to block it using his leaf as a shield. Howdy, Korpikar! Bovine Therian strolls on over, completely ignoring the cloudburst all around him. Babe Bunyan! Babe! What are you? Babe Bunyan? How's this rain not affecting you? There are two kinds of people who can withstand rain like this. First, like me, have rules to ward off rain and wind. Don't mind me actually helping out with this expectation. And the second is just people who are already soaked through. Not you too, Babe Bunyan. Not you too. Korpikar is literally shaking as if he's just witnessed a close friend transform right before his eyes. Yeehaw! Has he been taken over by Wakan Tonka then? No! He's fighting a world representative. Is he a world representative then? No. The sensation is... Oh! You ain't just gonna stand there and let yourself get taken down now, are you, partner? Narathan, was it? Name's Babe Bunyan, from the world of the Great Spirit. If you come to my aid, who are you? What are you plotting? World of the Great Spirit? Howdy, Anna! Cowboy time. Tell you what, you skedaddle on out of here and I'll tell you everything you done ever want to know, partner. Now, let's get moseying. This here's the real Wild West. Hoo-wee! Hey! Honestly, I expected this battle to be with Wakan Tonka himself, not with Copperker. Now, how do I want to do this again? This action is probably fine. Yo, what the fuck is that HP? Do we just have to hit him multiple times? I think it's that, naturally. Yeah. Special resistance. Okay, fine. Fine. Let's hit him multiple times. Alright. Copperker's not doing well. Or, Masanori rather. Can you, like, stop pushing them to the side? Actually, I guess it doesn't matter since he's last in slot. This music. Alright, how are we gonna do this? We're gonna want these guys to line like this. No, they're too far. No, not stackable freeze, anything with that. Oh, yeah, this is getting a bit annoying. We're actually screwed. He's stacking freeze on us. Oh my god, stop pushing us back. I just realized he's gonna be pushed to the side and then Rai's not gonna hit him. Oh my god. Alright, so if we're gonna want to always hit, we're gonna need Nbari in this position actually. No, not stackable freeze, anything like that. Can we, like, try to move everyone up a bit more? Okay. Is that better? Maybe. This is getting a bit too close. Oh my god, stop pushing me back. Jeez. Alright, how much coin was that? How much ranky XP was that? Damn it, I looked away before I could see the ranky XP. Can then someone rewind and tell me how much ranky XP that was? I might actually want to, what's it called, build for ranky XP instead. 1969 rank. Nice, 69. Okay, is that good? I think it might be decent. In any case, I do feel the coin was a bit lacking in that one. It was only like 100,000-ish. Not that much. But yeah, thanks for reading that out. Another of the 23 worlds connected to Tokyo, Kamikotan, is a land in a perpetual state of existential danger. Its people value living in harmony with nature, and to that end, they don't permit any growth or maturation beyond a certain point. Or to put it another way, youthfulness is mandatory. Code Pricker, a transient from Kamikotan, also happens to be its world representative, and thus its representative player within the game. An anonymous existence in many ways, Kopricker serves as a model of his world's natural severity. He's tiny, always hidden beneath his giant leaf, and never appears before adults. On the one hand, he watches over the people, ensures they are given all the blessings of nature entitled to them. But on the other, should anyone take too much, they will feel his wrath. This makes him something of an avatar for the harshness of nature, which stands in stark contrast to the Kami, who represent nature's bounty in all of its grace. Here in Tokyo, Kopricker belongs to the Rulemakers, the true guild of the East. His home turf is the area around Ojimachi Academy in Kito Ward. Known for its on-campus elementary school, he controls the portal there. And in the process, he cares and looks out for all the children, or at least all those who are smaller than his leaf. That includes all the Tokyo natives, as well as any transient children in attendance from any of the 23 worlds, Kamikotan or otherwise. Although he takes his status as a player in the game very seriously, he considers his caregiving toward the children to be every bit as important. And of particular focus to him is his good friend and fellow Ojimachi Academy attendee, Bei Bunyan. A fine Nihati Kopricker! How'd that physical go? You got any taller, or are you still just a little old pea pod? Bei Bunyan is a bovine Therian transient from the world of the Great Spirit. He looks up to cowfolk, loves baseball, and can't get enough of oatmeal made with milk, or good old-fashioned barbecue. He claims he can't wait to become an adult, but doesn't ever grow even a single inch, which Kopricker, with his extremely stringent beliefs, is quite grateful for. Bei Bunyan flaunts the Academy's strict rules and carves his own path, though he does so innocently, without malice or mischief, which Kopricker greatly admires and respects. Yeehaw! Cold sky at morning! The scenery produced before your eyes is the harsh, bitter landscape of Kamikotan, stunning as ever in the way of progress. But unlike before, when you're the target of his attacks, you can sense that Kopricker is more hesitant, holding back his full power. Well, this is due to the interplay between his rule and rule, the latter of which necessitates that he must love and care for all small children. As long as that remains part of his nature, Kopricker's rule may not be used to bring harm to any child adversary. The snow and wind seemed aimed more towards holding you two in place than actually opposing you. But this just gives Bei Bunyan an opportunity to unleash the power of his own sacred artifact. Feet on the ground! The horseshoes on Bei Bunyan's feet are his sacred artifacts, which hold the power to cultivate land that's been heretofore untrodden by civilization. Through their power, the torrential rain flooding the landscape begins flowing across the ground in channels, as if being guided along canals directed towards Kopricker. Hey, that's a pretty creative way to utilize your power if it's something like that. In an effort to stop the flowing water from overtaking him, Kopricker quickly readjusts his leaf umbrella, pointing it horizontally along the ground instead of above his head. And in doing so, the blizzard-like snow and wind instantly come to a screeching halt, vanishing as if they were never there in the first place. We made a break in the snowstorm. I can see the road again now. Now hold on your horses there, partner. Hey, just leave this little hootenanny to me. Yeehaw! Time to wrangle us up a troublemaker. Hoo-wee! He throws his lasso at almost superhuman speed, and in the blink of an eye, it's wrapped itself around Corpicur's arm several times over, completely subduing him. Gotcha! Let me go! Big Bunyan, let me go this instant! You're suffering now! You've been corrupted! That's it, isn't it? You're under his influence, aren't you? That law of nature, the great spirit world's representative. Babe Bunyan ignores this accusation and just calmly closes the gap between himself and Corpicur, whispering something into his ear. You can only make out bits and pieces of it. It's not it's my Corpicur. What is he saying? Rules and rules are both a curse and a blessing. Yeah, they examine more about what the restrictions of rules can be in the what's it called? Raiders of Lost Isle story. What? What did he say? I couldn't make out most of it. But sure stopped you in your tracks. Question is, why'd you come all this way? It sure as shooting wasn't just for Ayrton now, wasn't it? He thought he could try to do something here about this rain shower, just making also fucking cowboy speak is destroying my tongue. He thought you could try doing something about this here rain shower that's making us remember everything, didn't you? And I reckon it's because you just didn't want us to know about all this. You wanted us to stay pure and innocent and ignorant. Well, let me tell you something, Corpicur. Friend. Our bosses ain't the only ones benefiting from this here rainstorm washing over Tokyo. That angel you got ties with, Michael, he's in cahoots with the ones bringing the rain. What? Angel Eden is a fellow of the rain. Why don't you go ahead and mention that name to him? See what he says. Till then, all you're doing is waste time tilting at windmills. Meanwhile, this here rainstorm is getting bigger and bigger. Gonna reach the east portal in Quito ward soon, I reckon. Remember, I ain't the only kid you've sworn to protect. Got a whole mess of them. After he says this, Babe Bunyan releases the lasso from Corpicur's arms. The first thing Corpicur does at this point is raise his leaf high into the air once again. Very cute friendship they have. Oh no, is he gonna do that again? Stackable freeze? Run while you can, Babe Bunyan! Ain't no need to fret, partner. He's off to greener pastures. Yeehaw! Thanks, Babe Bunyan. Tell me, how do you know my name? Did I hear that you're a world rep? Babe Bunyan suddenly flashes you a grin that looks a bit beyond his years. See, I already told you my name, but what I ain't told you is that I'm an errand boy for the Invaders. Babe Bunyan clanks his horseshoes together, tips his cowboy hat, and almost ceremoniously delivers these words to you. I'm here with a message for you from my boss. Says he's waiting for you on the other side of Rainbow Ridge. Across the Bifrost? I'll be hanging on to your friends till you got a chance to talk to them. But don't worry, I won't let anything bad happen to them. You'll be hanging on to my friends? Wait, wait, Invaders? You're in the Invaders? Now that the snow has cleared and you can see your surroundings once more, you turn your back around to scan for Kengo and Shiro where they'd previously been lying. There's not a single sign of them to be found anywhere. Babe, where have you taken them? You turn back to the other way once more to confront Babe Bunyan, but he too has now disappeared without trace, just like he did with what's-his-face? Yasuyori. Or rather with an unusual trace. You notice the rain around you has stopped. Looking up, you can see that the clouds directly above your head have parted in a very specific way. The break is a narrow one, leading off into the distance. You surmise that this is the path you've been instructed to follow, and you have little choice but to follow it. Oh, let heavens be my guide, I guess. Should get in touch with the route first. No good. The phone screen is showing an out-of-area message. Most likely all the cellular signals are actively being jammed. Guess this is literally my only path. Well, let's just see where it takes me. I have looked down upon the tribulations of mankind from heavens for far too long. Sanakumara mutters this to himself as he sees off the crows and ravens that scatter every which way across the skies of Tokyo. Through their ethereal bodies, those who are more adversarial fuse into one another and spiritually evolve. A future awaits them in which they surpass their individual limits, and in which all may be connected to one great wisdom. I've lived what feels like an eternity to see that future come to pass. It's to that end that I've allied with the Invaders, who share this grand vision of assimilation into a singular perfect being. So he wasn't corrupted by the Invaders, but he willingly allied with them. And to that end I've betrayed Lian and Chi and the others, as well as the Game Masters with whom I'm formerly allied. The Game Masters have a strict policy of non-interference, taking an usual stance on all game-related matters and refraining from any actions that may aid in any individual player. Not Daikoku. Or no. Ukinunushi. He said he once collaborated with the Warmongers of the West, if I recall. But he lost his contact there along with half his guys, showing his true colors as a turncoat for the Invaders. And I worked with him, that Ukinunushi, from me. It was a clear breach of trust with the Game Masters. I did not do so without reservation, but I nonetheless always believed it to be of my own volition. And then there's you. Who in blazes are you? You, whose shadow perfectly matches my own. The fuck? This is literally just Sonnet again. I don't know when he got there, but there he stands, right beside me, another me, making my exact silhouette down to the finest detail. Is this Daikoku? I've been observing all this time, haven't you? What are your intentions? Why have you taken my form? Are you an imposter? Sus. Or perhaps I'm the imposter here. Double sus. The shadow says nothing in response, merely continuing to stare at Sanakumara. Have it your way then. We'll decide which of us is real and which is fake through a test of strength. I'll settle this myself once and for all. Come at me! Sanakumara looks up in the sky, as one praying, and then in the next moment, his face takes on a look of sheer determination, and both he and his other self take off together. The Odaiba Rainbow Bridge is a central landmark in Tokyo, connecting Minato Ward with Shinagawa Ward. And today, it seems it's to serve as a backdrop for the Great Confrontation. Alright, I'm here, Invaders! But where are Shir and Kengo? Wait. No! Can't be. You knew me as I once was, did you? I'm afraid those memories hold no meaning to anymore, however. Oh, interesting. That's right. This is the first time, we never actually interacted with Wakantanka in the main story, I'm pretty sure. So that means we're actually remembering him from the memories we had acquired from our times during the Warmongers chapter, as well as every other time we were forced memories down his road. In this ever-repeating world, I have met with all who dwell here, and they have always brought smiles to my face. You are no exception. I have met you too. You have made me smile. You're one of thousands, tens of thousands. That day, many things were revealed by the Pillar of Light from Jacob's fist at Penitentiary Academy. The seared memories you didn't even know you had, bringing them to the fore. Yeah, Jacob brought the full context of the memories. Fragmented moments filled your head, meetings, partners, partings, laughter, sorrow, the stories of friendship you forged in some other life. He showed us specifically memories of other events. I am Wakantanka. I am but one of the Invaders' infinitely recurring players. Yes, my name is Wakantanka. At the far end of infinity, I have discarded all else but that name. I beg you accept my material possessions. I offer up all that I have to all whom I love. What's happening? Is this some kind of attack? Remember that which you've forgotten. Remember the truths behind your joyous memories here in Tokyo. And once you've remembered, you will relinquish the rule that permits you to harm another. To fight is folly. It holds no meaning. But you needn't be scared. You will soon become one with your joy. This statement is accompanied by a dazzling flash of light that fills not only your vision but your thoughts as well. Oh, is that part one? I guess so. Okay, moving on to part 2 of episode 2. Is there a battle? Most likely. I mean, we're in the middle of the heat. Yep. Defiant 2, level 68. It is a survival quest, that's new. Featuring most likely both forms of Wakantanka in a large map of all things. But he's not known to clone, to my understanding, so at the very least should probably just be a singular boss. Maybe a large boss, but Now, how are we gonna survive? I actually did get Horikyo coming recently. But it's probably better if I use someone support since they'd be fully... Actually, no. Well, what does Wakantanka's kit do? I don't think he inflicts any debuffs, right? Besides having that advantage when you're pushed back. In which case, it might be good to have someone with anchor. So maybe Ahab then? Ahab might be good. Someone should have Ahab. Ahab, there it is. That's it? No fully skill seeding? I'll use my own Ahab. Not that it's any better. Oh, there it is. But I want the... I want the bonus. So let's go ahead and bring like whatever support here right now. Someone who can give us... there he is, right there. Okay, large map survival for 4 turns each turn. We'll want to... use Ahab most likely for healing. And we'll go ahead and include Ellie for enhanced healing. And one other unit. Who else is pretty good at healing? That's a 3-star. Healing. Hecate? What's our condition for healing? We don't have to move her, do we? That's just for the damage, I believe. In a movement phase, restore HP to adjacent squares. Could be okay, maybe. I think there's better options. Well, not for 3 stars. So, we'll stick with this. As for the ordering, I have the Buffalo Dodie versus Wakantanka the Buffalo Emo. Hopefully there's no, like, healing reversal shit going on here. I'm not sure if they released it by chapter 13, but we'll see. Ahab should be beside Ellie, most likely. Hecate could help, but that's cold. It's not gonna be as much healing as Ellie herself. Ellie heals, right? Whatever, we'll figure it out. I keep on forgetting. I'm like ready for battle, but there's a story part first, so let's go ahead and do that. Doe thinks back on memories of the past, recalling the boy known as Isaac. Back when this boy was still able to walk without assistance, he found himself drawn to a certain underground book depository one day in search of answers. This may have even been back before the endless game of Tokyo had ever begun. Oh? This is like literally the first ever mention of something before the game. Mankind's history is an endless loop of war, peace, and revolution. The same thing again and again, forever and always. Boy once known as Isaac descends into his library of wisdom, with footfalls as quiet as those of a mouse. I was wondering why he brought me into the place like this. Who would have guessed it was for a history lecture? Just listen. Save your comments for afterwards, if you please. The laugh is genuine and affable, and very uncharacteristic coming from the prodigy among prodigies. Mankind's history always begins with war. Two parties clash, and the stronger prevails. Once this happens, the war ends and hierarchy is established. The strong are sorted from the weak. This is followed by a period of peace. The winners instruct and lead the weak, and things seem to be going well. But that peace never lasts. Inevitably, it must always give way to revolution. First there was the Stone Age, then the Iron Age, then came guns and missiles, and most recently, computer viruses. Each of these developments changes what's viewed as strength. The hierarchy is upended by this revolutionary progress. This spawns new wars, which eventually gives way to new peace and new hierarchies that will be, in due time, upended by new revolutions as well. Is this why he does not believe in the warmonger's belief of conquest? War, peace, and revolution. This world is little more than an infinite cycle between these concepts. And this game is but a microcosm of the world itself, falling into these very same trappings, doomed to eternal deadlock. In other words, an infinitely looping world with no end in sight. Thinking back again, Joe realizes that Isaac had been purporting from the very start that the game will always remain a stalemate. We each came with a proposal for a potential ending, of course. Mine was Plan A, evolution through assimilation. The goal is to network all the world's knowledge, culminating in the formation of a singular, super meta intelligence. The limited lifespan of our bodies would no longer matter. Our minds, our essences, could live on inside the network. And our differences, which sow seeds of war and hierarchy, would lose all meaning when we all join together as one. Gender, race, strength, wisdom, wealth, all the things that divide us would be rendered moot. Interesting. That is a potential future, or at least a sci-fi plot for a future, where what's called even the most deepest entrenched divisions, such as the wealthy versus the poor, will become irrelevant once everyone joins this one entity of cyberspace. a very compelling argument, at least for assimilation. With every source of conflict and disparity wiped from our existence, this cycle would finally be broken. It's a perfect solution. Your plan is certainly grandiose, I'll give it that. But I can't begin to fathom how that plan could ever actually apply even to us, much less all intelligent beings in the world. It's the very definition of delusions of grandeur. The gap between ideal and reality is much too great to close. Even on the most basic level, any ordinary person would respond with abject horror to the idea of giving up their own identity in favor of assimilating into a collective. HP recovery. If you're talking about Ellie, she does something like that, but I don't remember her being like the best long-term healer. It's fate that the average person wouldn't even be able to comprehend, and that which defiles comprehension is almost always regarded as fear. If nothing else, they would at least struggle with the questions of whether or not this ideal existence is worth giving up the happiness they've known in their lives to date. In light of this, it's not unreasonable to assume that, to the people of this world, the price of entry to this ideal collective would be simply too high. Beyond Genesis Evangelion, he wants to start Impactus. I have not actually watched that. You're asking all of humanity to climb a mountain in order to reach your lofty height. But that mountain is infinitely tall. So Do is not criticizing the outcome, rather he's criticizing the process towards it. Which, you know, fair, that's probably the most unreasonable part about reaching that sort of a equilibrium state. As Dio continues to follow Isaac into the depths of the underground library where all of mankind's wisdom is stored, he sighs to himself. And scaling an infinitely tall mountain of ideals, even I'd rather just keep descending this infernal staircase personally. This is a problem relating to potential energy, but I think its solution can be applied to other matters as well. Physics dictates that for any object in this world, it's a far simpler task to fall lower than to ascend higher. Oh, you understand well, it seems, as that's the very thing I've been trying to say. It is. How exactly is that the very thing? How can that even be extrapolated from what you were saying? Simple. My idea is to turn everything on its head. Quite literally, to twist up from down. If reality won't cooperate in rising to its destined heights, then let's flip the script and make the ending into a beginning. The ending into a beginning? That's why I've been striving to bring about the ultimate revolution, one which moves heaven and earth. Do they mean to, like, turn heaven and earth upside down? I suppose this is what it means to be the prodigy among the prodigies. Your ideas are so out there that they hurt my head. That must mean a lot if it's coming from Duo. Duo realizes what he's just said is a bit confrontational in tone, but he's mustered all his courage to say it because he knows it's what needs to be said. Oh, do you really think so? As Duo considers this, he can't help but also find some irony in the fact that the prodigy who aims for the stars is instead presently leading him deep, deep underground. The two of them have descended so far, in fact, that it almost feels like they should have looped around by now and come somewhere else, out somewhere else in the heavens. I see. So that's it then. So what's the problem now? Despite himself, Duo shouts out after receiving a provision of information from Bertrand remembering more of the past. I just finally put two and two together, so to speak, regarding something Isaac spoke with me once upon a time. I once told him that the reality of this world won't ever guide him towards his ideals. Yet despite that, or no, because of that, he intends to quite literally move heaven and earth to achieve his goals. Rather than seek a new beginning, he tends to bring about an ending from which everything can begin. With it, he's hoping to bridge the infinite gap between past happiness and future anxiety. Basically, he wants to flip infinity to become 1 over infinity, to bring it all back to zero. dazzling flash of light fills not only your vision, but your thoughts as well. What's going on? Something's flowing into me. Is this your love walk, Antanka? Hey! Nightmare Kingdom! Hey, Fashionista! I totally streamed both of those stories. I don't remember any of this. I remember this! Yes, these are memories of events as they occurred, and loop you should remember. There are some blessed memories that I recall from across every iteration of this world. I remember all the times when people of Tokyo joined hands, laughed, smiled, and lived in happiness together. I've experienced happiness with you as well, among these infinite loops. While Kantanka seems legitimately overjoyed as he says this, almost as though he's not only recalling these memories but experiencing them anew. It takes only a moment before you realize, however, that the expression of joy on his face is frozen and unchanging, like burn-in on a television screen. There is no reason at all for anyone to fight. If only everyone would just remember then. Then everyone could unite as one, and all sadness would come to an end right here and now. World Representative Wakan Tanka's rule allows him to subdivide and share anything and everything he has with all of creation. And all the memories he's amassed as a world builder through countless loops are now beginning to soak into through his own strain. So he's literally sharing everything he has with everyone. In this case, it's referring to all his memories. I mean, world pillars have always been able to do that, but that's the entire stake of walking. It's not just to share it, but to share it with literally everyone and everything. And this reign is certainly accomplishing that. Arthur, come, become a part of Wakantanka. Wait, Wakantanka? Why do you resist? Why will you not just accept it? Because I'm scared. Besides which, it's just not right. I mean, if we're all one, then why? If there was that much happiness, then why did every single past loop suddenly end in tragedy? That's a question we never learned in any of the event. It was always happy in the middle of it, but we never, well, except for Nightglow, saw the end of it. Wakantanka doesn't answer. He can't answer. He just keeps focusing on disseminating his own love to the entire world. So he's sharing all the past memories of love. Sort of like Jacob, but in a way, just like to literally everyone at the same time, the same memories. Until everything becomes one within him. Until everything reverts back to the way it once was. Very fascinating.
蝶の飛び交うこの夜に、あなた、女王と踊ってみない？
It's a singular one square boss.
ひざまずきなよ。
ガチで決めるぜ。
For the best, we need to move up so that he doesn't do extra damage to us.
イカズチよ。
Ow! The fuck? Why'd that do so much damage? Where'd my tenacity go? Did we not even activate tenacity? I probably failed it, didn't I?
このまませえ。かかりやがったぜ。いい反応です。
Where's my healing at?
かかりやがったぜ。
I'm gonna get out of here.
このまませえ。かかりやがったぜ。
ひざまずきなよ。
Battle objectives beat the emo out of him. Okay, where the fuck is my healing? I moved them several times. I did the Evo. What the fuck? Oh my god, I'm so stupid. He heals on attack. Oh, it's fine. Ellie did her thing of just existing.
等しく沈む。ガチで決めるぜ。ガチで決めるぜ。
We have a bit of feeling at least. Thank you. What's your face?
このままかかりやがった。等しくいく。またのお越しは。
Where'd my guts go?
かかりやがったぜ。
No! No! Don't charge, please.
このまませえ。かかりやがったぜ。ぶち込んでやる。
I don't know, I didn't move all the way up.
お前の俺はもうどこにもない。すべてを捧げよ。一丸航空。
かかりやがったぜ。
またのガチで決め。
ここが俺。
くそったれ。俺様の夢がこぼれていきやがる。現実の。
Okay, let's just go over here instead.
一人数ち。
燃えた。燃え尽きた。真っ白にです。
We're good. Let's go, Lucky Cat win. That's funny.
ゴールクリア。こいつも違ったか。さあ行くぞ。次の海域へ向かう。
Maybe I should have brought Tindlos instead. I was about to say he should have gotten Drain. I'm not entirely sure what you mean with that. Anyway, let's continue. Wakantanka functions as little more than a natural law within the world, obliged to deal accordingly with those who betray the faith. But people will reap what they sow. Spit up at the heavens, and the law of gravity will ensure your own bile rains back down upon you. The world representative of Wakantanka actualizes divine retribution in the form of thunder and lightning. In this wasteland, should a problem arise among the people, they will gather as a group within a large ceremonial tent to fully discuss the matter. And therein, a judgment will be passed based on the collective faith and morality of everyone in attendance. However, there is always one among them whose role is to represent the minority opinion, and to stand up against the group's righteous judgment. It's a role that exists to ensure no majority ever becomes a monopoly. That role is known as Heyoka, named after an individual who once felt the sting of Wakantanka's lightning. Time is now past. Wakantanka, the fundamental element who dwells in all creation, possessed no feelings or emotions at all. The reason for this is that no others existed yet, and without the presence of other, the self cannot be born. But after striking Heyoka with his lightning and banishing them from this world, Wakantanka's self came to be. Why would there exist someone who can't be brought into the collective? Why would anyone refuse to become one with all? And that's a very interesting. I did read up the Wikipedia article on Heyoka as well too. Heyoka is a sacred clown within a show. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Seox, something like that. Mythology. And actually not even mythology, it's just customs of like someone who takes that sacred right in order to be contrarian to everyone else, including like walking around naked during like a cold freezing day and saying it's so hot, or vice versa, wearing a bunch of bundled sheets when it's like blistering hot. I was about to say he should have bought Drain. Oh, I see. So the fact that they have both concepts of, you know, the sacredness of everything within each thing, and then just, I guess, that unity of everything, versus Heyoka, which is the contrarian that opposes the majority, and of being in unity with everything. That's very cool. Or, you know, very perceptive of LifeWonders to hone in on that contradiction. Why would there exist someone who can't be brought into the collective? Why would anyone refuse to become one with all? Thinking of Heyoka made some part of Wakantanka ache. He did not yet realize that this merely indicated he really did have a soul, a heart. So in order to understand the meaning of this pain, Wakantanka came to Tokyo as a transient. Why are you unwilling to become a part of the greater whole? I don't understand. I can't understand. I just told you! How can he expect me to accept that? It doesn't make sense! It doesn't. What doesn't make sense about it? It just doesn't. What did Azathoth show us, specifically? Hey there, weaklings! Welcome to Azathoth's private server. I'll treat you to all that's for your own game over us till now. Welcome to the mouth of madness! Of how he died over and over again? Yeah, so how does that make sense? You know, presuming these loops are one and the same, how can we see all this betrayal at the same time? Are we gonna get clarification on these specific moments? You may hate me, but eradicating you is my only choice, Arson. At least, I will be in a deeper hell than where you'll find yourself. It's all my fault! What could the life you so deserve come to this? I'm so sorry, Arson! You've gotta be kidding me. Where'd you get to, partner? You want me to leave you behind? Hey, look, I'm trying, man, to smite him. I can't believe it all ends like this. We're together for such a short time. I wanted to save you from this horrible cycle. I truly did, but that wouldn't undo that we have been, all that we've been through, wouldn't it? Tell me the truth, Arson! They all remembered the many times they've killed you, Arathan. You've died in many ways and by many hands. However, according to your rule, it always ends the same. You are driven from this world by someone close to you, someone precious, and then it ends. Driven from this world. Well, that's what happened to all our past exiles. Thank you, Azathoth, again. I feel like we always refer back to Azathoth's memories because he was just so helpful in that moment of like revealing what our like plans should be with regards to the three tree guilds as well as the game in general. I just can't accept it! After seeing all those happy memories, how could things turn out so wrong? The more I think about it, the less it adds up. Leith is speaking to no one in particular, but rather articulating his thoughts as he pores over the intel gathered from each of the allied guilds. Why would I, and indeed everyone else, be forced to take down a dear friend? That is a good point. I mean, I know there's infinite loops, but it's still worth asking what exactly happened in those loops that would force our hand to do that, if anything in particular. How could a loop that's progressed in relative happiness come to an end in such tragedy? If it were merely that the game's players, in all their fearsome power, had seen to our annihilation, that I could understand. But the actual situation in each loop has been nothing quite so reasonable. I just don't see how it can come to this. Did Maria share his memories with Leet? Some critical key piece is missing from the puzzle here, and until we've found it, the full picture will continue to elude us. Thank you. I'm very happy that it's kind of just a hand wave that I assume would remain a hand wave of all these past loops, but I'm glad they are directly confronting it now as the mystery of the past events and how they ended, and why they were so happy, and how they could end in such tragedy, and how could some of them even lead to them trying to kill us. It is very interesting. In this war of information, we are quite definitely losing, and we'll never find the answers playing catch-up. That's true. if you're trying to play catch up with someone who's far smarter than you, then you're not really gonna catch up. More likely than not, you're better off just finding a different set of information. Yay, leak. Question: more chubby German boys. Nonetheless, we should continue to observe the enemy's actions and try best to intuit their intent. Lezine, may I rely on your judgment in this matter? Of course, Monsieur Richt, if that is what you wish. Lovely. Then to begin with, let's go over what we know. The tycoons are presently being subjected to an incursion by the invaders. And our allies, the missionaries, are being meddled with by the rumakers. One could deduce that the sites, that the true guilds of the south and east are on roughly equal footing at the moment. But if the invaders hadn't made their move when they did, it's reasonable to conclude that the runemakers would have preceded them. With this film? Thinking back, from the very first moment they showed up, the rulemakers of the East have taken a rather firm lead. They did show up first with Chapter 8, and then they kind of yeeted out of there lately. We escaped a disaster back then solely through the selfless support of the genociders. Rest in peace. But if they'd had half a mind to, our enemies should have easily been able to exterminate us right then and there. That's another thing. They let us go intentionally. And that wasn't really handmade. They kind of just said, you know, I sort of assumed they had no reason to pursue us, probably because of the alliance and all that. But it still did give a weird feeling that if they were there to kill the genociders, why didn't they do off with the rest? So great was the gap between our powers and theirs. Yet curiously, they let us stand. Likely because their only goal was to secure control of Erkton, who was able to evade their grasp. Having faltered right out of the gate, the rulemakers refocused their attention on the fight with the other two guilds. Opponents of equal standing, glaring at one another over the border. For a time, it was a silent standoff. This was during the Warmongers when these two faced. No one had the chance to try anything with our dear friend. But through his actions, the delicate equilibrium has been upset because we let ourselves get captured by warmongers, giving them an advantage. At least 3 World Cup representatives have been withdrawn from play that I've been able to confirm. So the news about the invaders losing some reps have not been public yet. As a result, a number of wheels have been set in motion. The 3 true guilds, the warmongers, have suffered the most. So there's no reason to believe the rule makers won't take this opportunity to attempt a power grab once more. In fact, without the invaders making a move to stop them, it only stands to reason they'd have already done so already. Thank you, Leek, for explaining everything. See, there's one thing to be like me and to just curiously wonder about something and think something's wrong, but then sort of wave it off later. But then there's another thing to be like Leek and to take it a step further and to try to find some outcome out of it. Yet, against all odds, the invaders took the initiative and launched a campaign of information warfare, so to speak. And analyzing my friend's words, there seems to have been quite a change in value of the trophy among the players. In response to the sudden change brought about the invaders, the rulemakers should have greatly pulled back their operations. Securing the trophy, prioritized for so long, should have now been knocked out down a peg or two on the list. But this whole matter being one of information warfare, even the invaders couldn't come out unscathed. Okay, so he's just going sequentially. Having 2 of the most valuable players out of commission is a big blow, no matter how you look at it. I guess between chapters are always giving information between our alliances. And yet, despite these unfavorable circumstances, the invaders aren't loosening the grip one bit. The point here is, the invaders beat the rule-makers to the punch this time. That much we can say with an ironclad certainty. So, Melusine, tell me, how do the current circumstances look from your perspective? Well, in military strategy, whoever makes the first move tends to have the upper hand, so that part is no surprise. If anything, I'd say it was always predictable for the invaders to do exactly that. At least, all else being equal. And therein lies the rub. It's a natural course of action if you're in a fighting ship, but not when you've taken heavy losses. Well, we've already surmised that both Smokey and Fushi were in a way calculated losses as a distraction for the next part of the phase. But the invaders appear to be just ignoring their present state and going for broke. Of course, if they knew in advance that it's a sure bet, that would be one thing. But should their gambit fail, then they're out of the game entirely. But if they've still decided they can push forward, that can only mean they have every reason to believe they're going to win this. Is that what you're getting at, Monsieur Leet? Leet gives Melusine a stern affirmative nod. In my view, the invaders of the south had no choice but to make a surprise move ahead of schedule, regardless of outcome. In this loop, it was imperative they play the cards after the rule-makers, but before the rule-makers. So it's not that it was ideal for them to act now, but rather they had to, is what Leek is saying. Because if they didn't, then the rule-makers might make the move first. And I believe they did so with confidence by upsetting the expected order. They reversed their fortunes, to some extent. In doing so, they've at least had an effect on the value of Artemis the trophy. The prize so desperately sought after by all 23 players since the very beginning has instead become a target marked for elimination, more hunting trophy than sports trophy. It muses that actions such as this are often the basis for revolution. Isaac was just talking about revolution earlier. How it could be seen just as a long time of peacetime with the trophy being regarded as something to acquire, and now it's been turned into a revolution to be something to be destroyed. Now, this is just my own personal theory, but if the invaders truly are skilled in this manner of subterfuge, and they're able to play similar mind games with the other residents of Tokyo, then maybe, just maybe, Tokyo itself and everything in it can be similarly devalued, and if everyone's convinced that nothing has any worth anymore, it could spawn a revolution in which everyone would lose everything, including any roots that keep them where they are. This is a diabolical plan. One might even say, a revolutionary plan. He's saying to devalue everything. So he's saying it's possible that the invaders' plan is to do what they did with us in chapter 12, which was we ended up being devalued in such a way that caused us to no longer be wanting to protect but wanting to be destroyed. And they're trying to do that with everything else that everyone values now. Perhaps, maybe with Wakantanka's help, to make everyone no longer care about what they previously valued. The question is, who's pulling the strings behind the scenes? Who's responsible for the spark that started this chain reaction? Oh my freaking god. You have no idea how difficult it is to mentally replace every TH with a Z. You took Shiro and Kengo, didn't you? You better let them go right now. Not that I have any confidence you will. Shiro Motori, Kengo Takabushi, students at Shinjuku Academy. I know them. I lived through previous loops with them. I have only the fondest memories of them. Those two were abducted, but it was neither my doing nor my behest. Huh? This seems a lot like Bertro's plan, where it was more like everyone had their own individual thing to be doing, in order for Bertro to eventually, cause the moon to collide with Earth. But, in reality, he didn't give full information to everyone, and so everyone was sort of acting within their own motivations while following those very limited instructions. My name is Babe Bunyan. I'm an airboy for the Invaders. I'm here with a message from you for my boss. So he's waiting for you on the other side of a rail bridge. Huh? Oh, if he said that, then is Walk and Tonka not the boss? And is someone else here? I've been hanging with your friends till you got a chance to talk to him. But don't worry, I don't know anything bad happened to him. Babe Bunyan? Babe Bunyan told you this. I assumed he sent me here to see you. Are you not his boss? If not, then who is? At this exact moment, with absolutely no ring, Tokyo Boy splits Kalini into behind your back. What the? Who's there? Tangaroa, a player on the Invaders team. Your show of heavenly blessings is a bit one-sided, is it not, Wakantanka? Those days of jubilation we once knew have fallen to earth and muddy beyond recognition, much as we have. Allow us to show you our defiled desperation as the end draws near. Okay, and last part for today, part 3 of Defiant, which is episode 2. So we're gonna be facing Tangaroa. Don't know how many phases, but it looks like he has a bunch of mobs with him. So it's probably just the one phase then. If not, then just one phase was just mobs, which would be bizarre. We already know Tangaroa's kit as someone who is strongly amplified by debuffs, so let's try to find a way to blow everyone up without debuff dependence. So that will not be Perrin, but we can do Oscar maybe. Oh, okay, never mind. I guess we're gonna be taking Wakantanka is now teamed with us. Decrease vertical movement, so you're not allowed to get closer, but Mugen Wakan is. We're gonna do this. If we want to board wipe everyone cleanly, I don't really have a good measure for that. I don't really have any turn 1 board wipers that are natively like that besides Christine. And she uses Dazzle, so that's not gonna be viable. I suppose I could use Oz. Yeah, Oz might be fine. Alright, let's do this. We'll use Oz with currently our strongest source of damage. Where are you? Go ahead and plug in Fushi. And we're gonna need to replace that AR eventually. And I don't think Fushi does any debuff stuff. In fact, he prevents it. All you need to do is make sure what's his face Oz doesn't actually inflict weakness on him, since that would make it stronger. Man, that doesn't seem that strong though. It's just like his own damage, and that's it. It cleared out the mobs, but we really don't do anything to Wakantaka. Or not Wakantaka, what's his face? Mugen. Alright. Who among our 3 stars can actually help? No, there's not really anyone. Wait, what's his face? Didn't Loki get that stupid fucking effect where when he dies everyone just loses a bunch of HP? Yeah, we can do that. But I want to bring like a water or fire unit so that I can actually do the thing. No one here can equip that. No one here can equip that either. Do I really not have any other board wipers? No, I don't really have any turn-on board wipers. And whatever. Let's not bring Loki because he can do debuffs. Alright, let's just bring someone who can equip the AR then. Actually, somewhat useful. No, not Benton. I feel like I should have more units in this. This doesn't seem like much. Oh. Right, it's just water and fire right now. Does he still have his debuff mitigation thing? That could be good. Or what's it called, since Mugen Walken actually does have a bunch of his own personal debuffs. Okay, we'll go ahead and put this on you.
教師って家業は戦場よりも楽じゃない。まさか。お前
良い家だな。
Okay.
実に良い家だ。
Could be okay.
なあ、
Maybe.
メリジーヌよ。
はい、リヒト様。
Let's do this.
あなた様のその笑顔こそ。Nice snappy loading. Of the 23 worlds connected to Tokyo, one stands out among the others. It's a world containing multiple smaller worlds, known collectively as the Oceanic Realm. Within it,
There's a general belief that all civilization is born of the sea, nourished by the sea, lavished and corrupted by the sea, and ultimately returns to the sea in the end. One of the smaller worlds within the oceanic realm is a remote island formed from a pair of clamshells, known as Lumia Kanaloa. The creator of this tiny world is named Tangaroa. It's said that he once wore a mighty shell on his back and existed as a great dragon. From 2 shells, he fashioned heaven and earth, and from his own flesh and blood, he birthed all the flora and fauna of the island. On that island, many living things prospered and lived together in harmony, not the least of which were humans. The great shell dragon continued to build and populate his island, but as more and more innocent beings, forfeiting all but his name and his bones in the process. How many worlds? It might be referring to Oceania, so actually a place filled with many islands, such as what's called Philippines and Singapore and things like that. Japan. And might be consolidating their sort of religions into one, or belief systems. So we did learn from the Raiders of Lost Isle, as well as just his research profile, that Tangaroa is actually an inherited name of the original father who made them, and the bones of Tangaroa are persisted through the staff that the current Tangaroa holds. His greatness would come to be celebrated by all who dwelled on the island, with his name and his staff made of his bones passed down among the strongest from generation to generation. It's kind of nice that it's giving a nice, like, it's scratching an itch that was in the back of my mind for a lot of these characters that were event only, and then they come back and it's like, oh, I know their whole deal between Wakantanka and Tangaroa, and all these other characters too. The current Tangaroa, like those who came before, is a man of great wisdom, his character extolled by all. And in order to fend off all aggressors from another world, he forged a pact with visitors from yet another distinct world known as Tokyo. He came to Tokyo with his family in tow, hoping to learn about the world outside of his land to help secure a brighter future for his people. And he was overflowing with delight in knowing and exploring this new land, or at least, he should have been. He is just now buying off. Yeah. Was he forced upon memories? Ooh, this music. We are the instigators now. Trespass my legion. Defile and usurp all. With the coarse voice, Tangaroa gives less a command and more a commandment to the invaders and soldiers, permitting them to begin their incursion upon Tokyo in earnest. The agents. Or what are called the camouflagers. The invaders' vanguard, optically camouflaged and stealthy in their movements, proceed to infiltrate every last corner of the city. Have not heard this music in main quests yet. This is a daggone music. Creating disorder on a grand scale everywhere they go. What sort of disorder? Cease your actions at once, invaders. I will not permit you to sow any further seeds of chaos in my neighborhood. Is this Ellie? Oh, Kalki of all people? Your stealth is powerful, but you cannot hide from my third eye. Kent's avatar! As a knight, it is my duty to uphold the peace of this town and vanquish those who would challenge it. Trenchant Dogma Breaker! She knew where though. Okay, good. Watch out! Take cover! Tarmighty, Kalki! Hey, look at that! My thumbnail is not inaccurate. Kalki Yuga. One arrow strikes another. Why are they working together? I thought they were enemies of some kind. One arrow strikes another in midair, causing a most unusual sound to ring out as two awkwardly tumble to the ground just beneath where they collided. I probably should have used this skin. I didn't realize this was his main story skin. Not bad, Shinya, but do you truly believe your skills will be sufficient to disrupt our invasion? Oh, they're fighting him. Temujin! Shinya! Kalki and Taramite attempt to rush over to Shinya's side, only to be blocked by the pass by reinforcements from the invaders. Why do you not fulfill your duties as a player, Shinya Tennoji, Olympian agent of Zeus? We have been promised hegemony over the world. We must invade and usurp all. Will you not fulfill that destiny, that role, in place of Zeus, who could not himself come to this Tokyo? I'm a human. I was born and raised here. So I'll protect this town. That's all there is to it. I won't be taken in by this foolish game. You say that, but a role cannot be so easily discarded. Once it's taken hold, it does not loosen its grip. Just as with Zeus back in his Olympus, that role of yours establishes bonds with anyone and everyone it can. Everyone falls in love with you. Everyone desires you. It's the very phenomenon that ruined your happy family. And you possess a rule as well. The world itself grants you free reign to dominate the weak. Therefore, I think you have no choice but to enjoy that destiny of yours, Shinya. No. No, I won't just forget those memories from when I was little. Shinya calls to mind memories of a time when he was younger. He knew nothing of the world back then, but he was happy. He now realizes all too well that those days were never to return. Those war memories lift me up. So no matter how many times I get knocked down, I won't give up on them. Someone from Eden once said something interesting, Shinya. Have you heard it before? I believe the saying is, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. You stand at the foot of that road now. Only, as I'm sure you noticed, the order is a bit reversed there. The players who've gathered for this game all have a tragic tale to tell, and that tale is the beginning of a larger story. Temujin thinks back to a dear friend of his from his homeland who chose a very different path from his own. Unlike Shinya, however, Temujin's memories of his own happy childhood in Xanadu only bring him anger now. He bares his teeth as he continues. You can see it, can't you? The whole reason we all came here, the force that brought us here, for every one of us, it was tragedy. And that's why we all seek happiness we once knew. And that's the reason we all seek the trophy. The old people should understand this, Shinya. Ours isn't a tale that began with happiness. The tragedy at the end came first for us. Shinya, local player from Tokyo, chosen as counterpart to the trophy. All of this happiness exists solely to highlight the tragedy at the end. That fall is unnecessary part of the game. The Love Gang. The tentacles of the transient named Tanjiro began to glisten ominously, as if they're in the process of wrenching open some unseen container. Not again! Memories are coming unsealed. Whoa, we're getting way too much memories now. Are these opposite memories of tragedy now? Oh, of his homeland, of course. Oh, memories of of Raiders of the Lost Isle. Memories once again awaken within your head, appearing as vividly as if they just happened yesterday. Kanan as well. Oh! God, this is so good. The onslaught is relentless, and you are fairly certain that every memory you're seeing is true. Everything presented to you actually happened. I don't remember any of this. It's all real, isn't it? Tanjiro, it's coming back to me now. Well, that's right. My name is Tanjiro. I am the creator of the Shell World, Lumia Kanoloa. The event are finally in the main story. So many event and main story crossovers. I'm so happy for this. We always just implicitly, for the first several chapters, like they will never interact and you'd be just, side story, right? But it's nice to feel the satisfaction. I read that story, I know the significance, and I know why this encounter is so important. Know well the name, for it belongs to the world representative of the Oceanic Realm, who shall invade and defile you. Tangaroa, why have you taken on this form? Come, my children, the time is upon us. In response to Tangaroa's summons, innumerable writhing shadows begin to appear behind his back. These people... Don't tell me! These are shades, stained with disgrace and shame here in Tokyo. Wakan Tanka is not even aware of them. They are the memories of my followers, long since bereft of their innocence. I have led them here, to this decadent city. Yes, the events finally paid off in main quest. I'm so satisfied reading them all too. Go home. Want to go home. The shades summoned by Tangaroa are all crying out in rage and despair, while shaking and shuddering loudly. They want to go back. They want to go home. They want to return to those warm, nostalgic days they once knew. I guess they really don't like Tokyo in comparison to Luna Kanaloa. The desire to return to one's formative days. Primitivism. Such is the belief system I champion. Such is my role. Now then, as all is born from and returns to the sea, I shall drag you two to the depths. Wicked sea suckers! Yeah, I'm sure. Like, I'm not sure what they experience here. It seems that someone from the Invaders must have approached them just like someone from... This is a bit intense. Someone must have approached Tangaroa just like they approached Wakan Tanka and given them their memories. Ripples form in the ocean all around Tangaroa as the surface parts in multiple places and tentacles rise up from the deep, all spreading directly towards you. They really need to replace this tentacle effect. This does not look like tentacles. There are too many of them. I can't dodge them all. I'm done for. Just as all hope seems lost, a gale force wind erupts from Wakan Tanka's body and blows the tentacles back. See ya, suckers. Whoa. You dare stand in my way, World Representative Wakan Tanka. Then you too shall be dragged down into my pit of shame. I would suggest you stand aside, World Representative Tangaroa. No one is permitted to approach me. A newly formed deluge of rain falls upon newly opened whirlpools as tentacles flail about their and thunder roars. No one present can possibly avoid getting caught up in the chaos. It's almost as if each of the worlds is directly threatening to consume the others at the same time, resulting in an almighty tug-of-war. I will drag everything and everyone into the deep, even if I myself must meet my watery end in the process. Unearthly wails and shrieks that could pierce life itself ring out throughout Tokyo Bay, and you feel directly threatened, fearing that you may just get dragged into the abyss yourself. It feels like everyone will be, in fact. There's a real sense that at the end of this fight, there will be no one left to claim victory. Who's this? Right, there's not some means of resurrection, that is. What is this? Is that a leg? Wait, is this Fisher King? No, this can't be Fisher King. I can't hold it out in this right. And he tried. But where? He can't be Wakan Tanka. Guys recording everything. Yo, I think that was with Fisher King. Is Fisher King gonna actually have a hand in helping us directly, just like what's called Thor did in chapter 10? Or is it 11?
さあ、終局を始めよう。俺 の愛した皆が等しく終わるその等し
引きずり込まれよ
差し上げ等し
やぶ引きずり込まれよ
Okay, let's go ahead and not give him weakness. So, I'll lay back here,
俺
please.
様の背を破り
差し上げましどうぞ
Oh my gosh, he has too much HP! No!
三日月
引きずり込まれよ引きずり込まれよ
How did he get all the way there? Oh my god, rest in peace, any chance of doing decent damage.
その意味すべてをなく
破り引きず
Actually,
り
there's
込
one
ま
way
れ
to
よ
do decent damage here. And that is to move this fucker.
お待たせしましたどう
ほな行こうかクルース肉の旦那昨日の敵は今日の友やで
ああ三太夫今はお前にこの
I can't be setting up tentacles being dragged down, but then
逆走逆走逆走おっと
I'm gonna need to keep on hitting him like
引きずり
this.
込まれよ
And I'm gonna need to trust Fushi to do damage here as well. But also not give weakness to
俺様の破り
Kankuro.
差し上げどうぞ
Where's your crit? Does he need to move for it? Doesn't know he needs to move for it.
ほな行こうかクルース肉の旦那
Anyway, he has guts. So
昨日の敵は今日の友やで
引きずり込まれよ逆走逆走逆またのお口は破り引きずり込ま
Maybe
れ
he
よ
just failed it.
触らせないぜ
No! God damn it. Okay, let's try this.
お待たせしましたお差し
キラキラ輝け我が世の映画ザクザク稼ぐぜまあ見てやがれ
Hello? Why did that do like 0 damage?
行く
Because
ぞ
he has so much
メ
debuff.
リ
God
ジー
damn
ニ
it.
よ
はいお任せくださいませリヒト様
撃て集え三大ギルドの勇士たちよ
我ら互える道を踏み越えここに
偉大なる同盟を結ばん
Man, Oz is kind of fucking useless here.
我が八つ足こそ
Please don't remove all my buffs.
ロゴテン
差し上げましょう
But... Oh, he's out of combat. They're all out of combat. Okay, sure, if you say so. Oh my god, he's removing all my buffs, I think.
ガチで決めるぜ
No! What is this?
本当に君触らせないぜ
くそったれ俺
Oh my
様と
god!
惚れて生きやがる
How long is this gonna last?
現実の
900 doctors! Okay, cannot attack. Alright, let's do this one by one then.
引きずり込まれよ
Very slowly.
込まれよ
The lucky cat medal, let's go! This is
引
funny.
きずり込まれよ
I'm on my way, give me a second.
込まれよ引きずり込ま
Yes,
れよ
yes.
引きずり込まれよ
Yeah, I think it's I'll be fine. I can't die to this.
引きずり込まれよ
Behold everyone, the lucky cat saves the day.
引きずり込まれよ引きずり込まれよ
Very slowly.
引きずり込
Oh,
ま
there
れ
you
よ
go.
悪いライオンにガブリといかれちまったな感想はどうだ
There's a pretty cool effect at the end.
まあな
But Oz was fucking useless, or more like they just had, you know, too much HP. I think Fushi failed his crit, that's why. The 23 worlds connected with Tokyo include Eden above and Gehenna below, but also the oft-forgotten world of Mid-Earth that serves as the model for both. Therein, a certain structure of faith exists, known as the Final Judgment, or in practice, Judgment Day. It heralds the end of times. By its doctrines, it's said that when a world is about to meet its end, it will be cleansed by a rain of bloody tears from angels on high, hoping for the fate that's soon to come. At this time, all the sins committed upon Earth will be judged, and those acts will land the accused in either Eden or Gehenna. It truly is the final judgment, from which none may escape as the world falls to ruin. No act of evil will be overlooked, no sin will be ignored. Therefore, one is obliged to live in accordance with Eden's doctrines as much as possible. It's the ideology of reversal, of beginning from an established end. The first step is to define what the end even is, and then from there to establish the present and past.
I'm scared, Mr. Angel!
Present and past. The sudden onslaught of the invaders has created a state of panic and disorder here in Shibuya too, just as it has everywhere else in Tokyo. The sounds of distant screams and explosions rang out from all sides, muffled only by the walls of the church where countless frightened crying children are sheltering. Everything will be alright. We'll keep you safe. Please dry your tears. Despite these reassurances, Azazel continues to dart his eyes back and forth, surveying the situation. He notes that Aoyama Guild's angels have dwindled in number quite considerably. Many angels have been deployed to aid in countering incursions from the three tree guilds, distancing themselves from their home territory. This has left quite a void behind as Arslan Zabani and the others find themselves with fewer and fewer trustworthy aides on hand. Seems that the only ones remaining here are the fallen angels, such as myself, and others with nowhere else to go. The door to the church is blown off in a sudden explosion, and troops rush in through the now permanently open doorway, pointing their weapons at Azazel and his fellow missionaries.
Don't move, and don't you dare try to resist. Get everyone out of the church now.
I don't know who you are, or what group you represent, but we have been advised to take shelter, so I beg your mercy. The soldiers indiscriminately fire their weapons up at the ceiling, causing dust and debris to rain down upon all the angels and sheltering children.
Outside! No! Don't make me see it a third time.
So the objective of all these mobs is then to force everyone out into the rain? Azazel, the fallen angel, gathers up the chains bound to him. So that's it. They're trying to make sure everyone comes in contact with this diabolical rain. If only it weren't for these chains, I could unleash my true form and utilize my power. The true form in question is that of a terrifying serpent with 7 heads, 14 faces, and 12 wings. For Azazel to have access to that form and its associated powers, these soldiers would be easy to boast of as papier-mâché. But that's where the chains bound to his body come in. They aren't just for show, but rather to bind the original form and power, completely restricting its usage. They are also sacred artifacts, and presently has a light within them which signifies to Azazel that the artifact's original bearer now dwells within this land. What if they're transients from Middle-earth? There probably are, just like there's transients from Canon. But they're not necessarily, one of the 23 worlds we're considering. I see. So you've finally shown yourself here, Dark Angel Israfil. Our bond makes your presence abundantly clear. So these chains belonged to Israfil previously. Once upon a time, Azazel had elected to live among humans, despite being an angel. And the one who was sent from the heavens to admonish him for this and bind him in these chains is the aforementioned Dark Angel Israfil.
Lord Sabanya, why?
Ever since the day of the great battlefield in Otemachi, Sabani has been missing. Oh yeah, that's where you. They never properly explained it, but essentially everyone we had an exception with, kind of got unsummoned or disappeared or something. I don't know. That includes Abani, of course, but there's also Ophion of the Tycoons, as well as Oniwaka of the Berserkers, well, formerly of the Berserkers. So I don't really know where they went per se. They kind of just got desummoned and... Did they get desummoned? I don't know. They disappeared in the light. So seeing him again, Miriam immediately notices the expression on his face, which looks nothing like an expression the Zibania she knows would ever make. Maria, do not allow your mind to be taken in by those you behold with your eyes. Jacob positions himself in front of Mira as if to shield her from sight. The light, the memories that course through these fists tell me the person who stands before us now is none other than Isafril, the very angel of Eden who is said to appear on Judgment Day when the world is set to end. You speak the truth. Within this vessel, I, Isafril, have ascended to oversee the ruination of this world. Only when humankind is extinct shall I know joy. Such is my burden and my delight. The figure that took the form of Zibani but identifies himself as Israfel now stands before Jacob and Maria, laughing unpleasantly. As false prophets propagate the earth, wars and disasters shall unravel it. Israfel, becoming ever more soaked by the rain of memory-infused rules, begins to speak, or more precisely, preach in an almost chant-like manner. May the bloody tears of the exalted turn to rain and inundate the children of man as penance for the sins they've committed. It's so sad. Such a sad end, don't you think? The Dark Angel appears to be growing more and more jubilant, in stark contrast to his sermon of grief and pity. The Hot Topic Angel Judgment Day edition. The form you now take was granted to you by the Rain's rule, was it not, Israfel? Indeed, it was. We two are connected by our shared fate of pursuing a singular end, and so Zabani and I became as one. Now there are no secrets. All sins have been laid bare before the world to see. And that is the one true path linking us to the Almighty, by washing away those sins with this blessed rain. This incessant love that pours down upon us from on high shall be the link that unites us into a single mind. Israfel proclaims this was everything he's got, and the rain seems to respond by coming down heavier still. Accompanying it is a strong wind that defies Maria and Jacob's attempt to resist. Thorns of Golgotha! Thinking fast, Maria uses her sanctified nail-stick artifact to draw blood, causing the thorns around her to grow in an instant and shield her and Jacob from the rain like an umbrella. False prophets, the lot of you! Such sad, pointless resistance. Do you think you can use such little tricks to protect everyone in Tokyo? Tell me, which would run out first, do you suppose? This rain, or your blood? I can only assume you know as much about my sacred artifact to Lord Zabani's memories. Have I not already said that we two are one? I am well aware that your sacred artifact revitalizes life in exchange for blood. Maria's sanctified nails hold the power to take hold of her own pain and utilize it to heal and instill growth in others in proportion to the amount of blood she spills. But of course, doing so does rob Maria of her own vitality, and in a more physical sense, her own blood, both of which are certainly limited resources. Do you honestly believe you and you alone could atone for all the sins of Tokyo and of everyone in Tokyo merely by spilling blood? Maria tightens her grip on the thorny vine in her hand and defiantly looks Israel right in the eyes. There is no point in There is nothing pointless about this resistance. Moreover, it is not I, and I alone, who would stand against you. Often, there are those whose pain I cannot share, or whose hearts I cannot comprehend. Often they who wholly walk separate paths from my own. Yet we each have one thing in common. We have chosen the paths we walk. Perhaps you may see me as merely a proxy doll, powerless to save for my ability to spill blood and tears and love another. Is that me reversed? But there is always another. There is always someone to accept my blood and tears with grace and gratitude. Someone who is given strength by them, strength enough to sever the threads of tragedy that bind us. His hips are bursting. We all wander upon the road we chose for ourselves, getting lost and frantically searching for the right way to go. But we all chose our own paths nonetheless, no matter how steep the hills or daunting the obstacles thereupon may be. We each will ever follow our path, each if it leads to Golgotha, and we must bear our own cross for the entire journey. And hips don't lie. Maria recalls a choice she was once given, along with her name, by someone who held no ties of blood with her whatsoever. She was but a young girl at the time, destined to amount to nothing, and simply passed away on the streets until Savior appeared, took her in, and showed her another path. And that, she realized, is love in its fearful form. She has since devoted herself to following her Savior's footsteps and offering as much blood as she must save, to save as many as she can. Talking about Jesus Christ himself. There has always been and always will be pain, suffering too. And this path promises to leave many scars, while it's the path she's chosen for herself. Israfel, was it? Perhaps, in the end, things will turn out exactly as you say. Perhaps all roads truly do lead to the same destination in the end, and our choices on how to arrive them matter not. But if we were simply to walk the shortest path there by force, then what meaning is there in the journey? Maria believes that choosing one's own destiny is the meaning of life, and allowing others to choose their own disparate destinies is the meaning of love. This is why she has full conviction as she faces this threat. She has no intention of straying from her path for anyone. To do so would be to deny her only two things her Savior had left for her. Ooh, the dungeon music! Holy Grail! I will ask you oh my god. I will ask you this only once. Remove yourself from Lord Zabania's body. Now! Allow us to choose our own way forward. Well said, Maria. No. Who are you? Hey, more event characters joining us. Licho. The Asakusa Guild Master sent us here to lend a hand. Gotta repay the favor for you stepping in to help us out over in Shibamata. How are the kids? Are they okay? Hope we didn't keep you waiting too long. Seems we just got here in time, huh? Salvation is here. Maria, I've received a word from a guild portal. Hanuman has returned with reinforcements. Oh, Lord Hanuman and Master Ryota are back. Well, Ryota seems to be not there, so he's probably making a beeline for us directly. His soft and warm tiger. He's canon! Be happy, he's highly canon. Amid the chaotic maelstrom of meteorological phenomena, you find yourself being tossed around wildly like a kite without a string. Kangura's inhuman roar is so intense that it almost feels as though you'll be cursed just hearing it. For a moment, it seems to tip the balance in this war of representatives. No. Get flung into the air. Each drop of this water is a string tear from one of my followers. You and everyone else shall remember everything.
completely exposed up here. This is it. Let me take over. Just like Shira and Kenga were.
I don't really see the threat specifically of Tangaroa's memories, since it's just it's called memories of Kanan. But maybe Tangaroa's has more memories in store, since he ended up that way somehow. Some sort of supernatural black shadow is poised and ready to strike you, and you're powerless to defend yourself. But just then, Ryota showed up!
Sorry, all right. Sorry, all that you're... Accept all that you're given. Ultimate Supper!
Fisher King! Fisher King! Ryota appears out of nowhere, and with his challenged sacred artifact, he collects all the blood and tear-stained memories.
Ryota, you saved me. Thank you so much. Nothing to it, Arthur. But how did he find me here?
The storm's been blocking all service. No way anybody could have gotten through.
I was really surprised when I saw there was no signal. But that's when I knew something must have been really wrong. Taishakuton told me where to look, though.
Maybe he really is a deity after all, if he can outdo cell signals.
He said there was something going on over at Rainbow Bridge. It felt like a divine revelation or something. Oh yeah, the Asakusa Guild is totally on board to ally with us, by the way. Oh, they have some conditions. Wait, where's Sharon Ken go? Wow. I'm so sorry I couldn't be with you when you needed me the most. But I'm here now. I'll make sure you don't have to go through anything traumatic like that anymore. And I'm sure those two are gonna be just fine. They would never leave us behind and run off somewhere, not even possessed. Never mind, Shira did that, or just that already. Thank you, Ryota. Can always count on you. Give Ryota a big hug. Come here. Ryota gives you a big smile and attempt to reassure you that everything will be alright now, but the message is belied a bit by the tightness in expression. Anyway, Taishakuton told me a lot after encountering Katsushika Ward. He heard it from a transient who bore the same rule of storms in another world. This rain isn't natural. Each and every drop of it is a piece of someone's memory. And what he said is true, then rain also has a rule that makes these memory fragments fuse together and become one. Is that it? When they pull together in a flood, they'll become just one memory in total. Is that what he's implying? So there's someone else's memories. That means... something has seeped its way deep inside me. I thought you didn't like Ryota. Well, you know, it's been a while. It's more like I don't really care about him anymore. Everything washes away with time. I'm sure one of these world representatives would say that. But, you know, I don't necessarily super like him either. But yeah, it's been a long time since he, like, what's called, left us hanging in chapter 4. The memory is a part of them now. Can we even get Shira and Kenga back? No, we can't give up. You're right, we can't. But we don't have to either. There's more to this story. See, Taishakuton also said that rules like this always have a counterpart. There's always an opposite somewhere. An opposite. Now, Taishakuton stated very plainly that the rules here in Tokyo are not absolute. It's kind of like if a spear that's guaranteed to penetrate the shields goes up against a shield that's guaranteed to stop all spears. They'll just wind up cancelling each other out. Well, I mean, we already know that with how certain rules can't interact with each other if they have the same sort of basis. In one of the other worlds, you can see an example of this with the supposedly invincible god of thunder, Indra, who has a counterpart in the god of wind, Vayu. Oh yeah, they did talk about this briefly in the world of Paimon. You can even see examples of this in the legal system, as for just about every law, there exists another that supersedes it, created to prevent abuse of that law. The bottom line is, here in Tokyo, as much as some people may claim to be invincible from birth to death, but there really is no such thing. No one is completely untouchable. And all rules sort of break the rules to begin with. Certainly, a rain that fuses together pieces of other people's memories within you is no exception to that. So it can be inferred that if there exists a rule to assimilate memories, there must exist a counterpart rule to disassemble them too. And even though the app claims everything gets reset when a battle zone is cancelled, this doesn't apply to memories. These aren't natural memories either, but memories being glued together in people's heads by an external force. So there should definitely be a way to undo that. A rule to disassemble memories. Guess there's a lot of people, huh? Well, that's just what Taishaku-chan told me. Very uncharacteristic of me to use all those big words, huh? He kind of rambles a lot though, so you might want to take it with a grain of salt. He kept changing the subject, wondering why the temple was called Shibamata Taishaku-chan. Why he's revered there? Demanding someone to bring him the scan part right away. Honestly, it was hard to understand most of what he was saying. But, I mean, I did convince him to come around and give us some help in the end. So there's that at least. Yeah, don't worry, Ryota. Just hope. Plenty of hope. Not from me. Whoa! Arthur! Heads up! Pulling Ryota's finger, he can see the exact spot where the two storms, or two worlds, are about to collide. The rain and the ocean are about to meet. Is this part of Isaac's plan? He did mention the heavens and the ocean, or the earth? Something like that. Flipping those two upside down. In my name, may all be equalized and returned to one. Storm rain, wash it all away. Grateful Sundance.
By my 8 tentacles, I banish all to the bottom of the sea, as far from the heavens as can be. Wicked sea suckers.
Quick, Arthur, get behind me! Arthur? Arthur! Where are we? Holy fuck. I don't know. We got knocked out, and we were here when I woke up. The two world representatives, Wakantanka and Tangara, are nowhere to be seen. And the series that now searches out before you bears absolutely no resemblance to the Tokyo, you know. This feels pretty familiar. You know what I'm talking about, right? You mean with the warmongers and how we saw the end of the world there. We've seen it so many times already. In Shinjuku, with the exception of Shiro, and Ikebukuro, with Kengo, and Aoyama, and Roppongi. I don't think any cataclysm really happened with Ikebukuro, though, incidentally. But there was one sort of in Aoyama and Roppongi. Is this an exception? Is that what you're saying? You should indeed know... You should indeed know well an exception territory when you see it at this point. Well met, Guildmasters of the Summoners. Nice suit. Wait, are you? Touring, in the flesh. I'm certain you've heard all about me from my original Enigma balls. The young man smiles mischievously, his expression a particularly good match for a snow-white gentleman suit. The name's Touring. I serve as a guildmaster for the Akihabara Guild craters. It's like every Sunday Tokyo faces an apocalyptic event. Well, you know, they've faced billions of loops, and it was a big shock for us when we first got it, but no, in a sense, that's kind of like how we wiped our memories and see it for the first time. And even we're used to it now. I trust Enigma has served you well in the deep web, no? But where are my manners? We only just met, and here I am, just jesting with you. I caused more misunderstandings that way. At any rate, to summarize the situation, that invaders lads sought to weaponize an exception. So this is, in effect, a bog-standard exception territory. But you needn't worry, as you bear no responsibility for it, for once. So this exception was caused by Tangaroa and Wakantanka. They collided. I didn't expect that, really, but who's the exception, then? If I may be so bold, however, aren't those two the ones you were seeking just before you were sent here? No. Shiro and Kengo, but they vanished in the water. You have to go save them. Now, as you are well aware, this is no ordinary water. They are in no danger of drowning. This water, that now covers all of Tokyo, is what's called a great flood of time. A literal flood of time? Okay, so they always use it like as a metaphor, but I think it's literal now. It's an informational pool that reverses causality. It's a superposition of quantum entanglement that... my apologies again. I do tend to overcomplicate my explanations. Suffice it to say, they've merely gone to assimilate with that mass, which, suppose, doesn't sound very good, does it? If you're joking, it's not funny. Just, why are you here? What are you after? If it is your wish, I can show you proof of their existence, of their actuality, by way of my sacred artifact. Or, no. Perhaps it would be easier to understand if I were to simply say that I can guarantee their safety. Originally, my secret artifact was meant to decode information. Many misunderstood, however, and called it a computer virus. Oh wait! Speaking of deconstructing things, they talked about that before. So, in order to deconstruct this, it would have to be Turing who's able to reverse it then. Although the exception already happened at this point, so... So I'd like you to remain calm as I explain to you that my current task is to bring you to a certain someone. A certain someone? Who tasked you with that? And why here? Probably Isaac. I suppose you could say it is my duty to watch over the guildmaster of the invaders. And this place is Tokyo's missing link, existing in the space between the endings and the beginning. What awaits beyond is the cataclysmic loop, the memory of when the three true guilds settled their rivalry once and for all. And there is a person who waits for you here, at the bottom of Tokyo Bay, along with the deepest truths no one else could grasp. You've long yearned for it, have you not? To know what lies between the tragic future and the happy past? Oh? Yes. How they connect is a mystery. Are you not curious to learn what exists in the space between such grand antipodes? Yes? Memories that have been lost. Too complicated. It hurts. Are you frightened? Is it a rather scary business, uncovering the secrets of the world? You needn't feel ashamed. There is perhaps nothing more menacing than an answer to a question you have no choice but to accept. Why, you could very well learn that your happiest memories of the past were, in truth, unforgivable sins committed in ignorance. Earthen. I'm not scared. I mean, I am. But it won't stop me. Because I'm not alone. Right, Ryota? Earthen. Yeah! That's right! Everything's gonna be fine, because I'm right here by your side. God. The exceptions? Oh, there's Yukimura. Oh, and Ark and Mahakala too. And Shinjuku and Ikebukuro and Aoyama and Roppongi and Otamachi too. We've gotten through it all together. The unimaginable horrors of Yokusoth and Shinjuku, the tyrannical Thor and Ikebukuro, and the Fisher King and Aoyama, who denied death itself. All of them were overcome through perseverance, faith, and the invaluable help of friends, allies, and even enemies. None of those incidences were resolved without great struggle, and this time promises to be no different. But it too shall pass. We'll do whatever we can. I'm sure everyone else is already at it. So, let's show them what we're made of. I see you're the type to make grandiose proclamations without flinching. March forward with no hesitation, innocently confident that you can save everyone and everything. Without a trace of jest, I'm forced to admit that I rather admire such fortitude. Even among geniuses, there are 3 modes of thought on this, including... apologies again. That is neither here nor there. However, yes, if not for that, you would likely have never made it as far as you would have, would you?
Perhaps I can rephrase. For you to be here right now, and to have come all this way. Simply put, even were I to stand in the shoes of one of the three true guilds, I would not hesitate to extol my praises upon you. Turing is a bit of an odd one. He's been nothing but being a huge information dump and kind of praising us too. Like something out of a fantasy world, the surface of the water has a great crack running all along it, which opens into a massive hole. Gives the impression that a mythical supercontinent had sunk into the sea long ago, but is now poised to rise once more and might pop out from that hole at any moment. This is the deepest point in Tokyo, the undersea cable network. There, you will find the Invaders Guildmaster, along with their ultimate weapon, the Hero Exception. Why are they calling it Hero? Prepare now to reclaim some of that figure from before within the deep, and allow me to be your guide. Chapter 13, Invaders Prologue. Undivine Destruction. Proceed to main story. I didn't realize that prologue was that short. My thumbnails are actually prepared in such a way that the next two episodes are also, like, more prologue based. Oh well. You got a deal. So, let's go ahead and briefly look at the title of the next quest, as well as if there's any battle for it. No battle. Battle in this term. Okay, so I don't need to do any preparations for that. Right, let's head over to this meeting thing. My guild. Okay, so that is episode 2 of chapter 13. Invaders Undivine Destruction. It is certainly picking up now, a lot faster than I thought it would. Welcome Tonka and Tangaroa just like got down a snap just like that. They're gone now, and we're already dealing with an exception this early on, even though we haven't met them yet. And we're gonna finally see most likely Isaac as we trace down the cable network. So things are, I like the brisk pace of this. Some of the chapters in the past have been a bit slow. Honestly, chapter 12 was a bit slow with it. I mean, you know, what's it called? We did immediately take off what's called into being chased off by those people, by the invaders, but there's some slower middle parts, and I'm liking the pace of this so far. Hopefully it keeps up. It is just a prologue after all, so immediately after it should be pretty interesting too. The boy made two gods fight just as a phase of his plan. I mean, it's not the first time that exceptions have been utilized as part of someone's plans. If anything, I would think that usually people are above it, or the three true guilds are above it, but, you know, Birchwood did end up using Mahakala, and it seems like Isaac will be using whichever exception this is. Speaking of exceptions, I am wondering, the current chapter released, chapter 14, is actually not a prologue, from what I could tell. It's just straight up the Rule Makers chapter, plus some containers. So I wonder if we're gonna get a dungeon for that too, or the corresponding exception. It could be nice to have another dungeon again. It's been quite a while. But yeah, that's it for this stream. I don't have too much thoughts about this part, besides the pace of it all. It was, and of course, it was very amazing to see all the events unfold again. To actually see these people are just not silhouettes, but exist in the present day and are participating in main quest. It's very nice to see that they have indeed an existence that matters. And when you see these characters again, and they play an important role, then you sort of have the weight, and it's not just us, the player, but also the in-game character as well, because they receive those memories too. So it's just a great relief, a wave of satisfaction of knowing I read that story. I know the background. I know the tension between them. But yeah, that is it for the stream. Thank you for joining me today. I will be again streaming tomorrow at 7 p.m. ET, same time as today, but tomorrow instead, all the way up until Friday. So look forward to that. And until then, I don't know, play video games or something. Good luck with the campaign and all that. So I'll see you then. Hey guys, bye bye.